I'm doing all right. It's not over. The shock's not over. The emotions aren't over. We've been talking a lot on today with you folks and reliving it still. And in our own personal scenarios, we're also living out. So we're in shock. We're mad too, and we're sad.
Well, I can tell you this. I heard them saying they weren't sure of Corey. We were right in front of Corey. He was in the third row. We were in the
No, we were in the third.
we were in the third row. He was in the eighth row. So we were in front of him. If you're looking at the stage, we were over to the right grandstand. And we hear the three shots. And again, this is where seconds turn into minutes. And I just remember looking around and no one's going down. So I screamed, "Gun, get down." And I grabbed my mom and I yanked her towards the grass because we were so low. And she was on top of an 80-year-old woman. And I was on top of her. And I remember checking her for blood and everything. And four more shots rang out. And then people start screaming, "Man down," from above us. And I remember looking up and seeing Corey and another woman that was hit. And they were just lying there. And next thing you hear one last shot, which I'm assuming was them taking out the shooter. And my mom at one point lifted up the fence because we were trying to see if Trump was okay. And eventually we see him stand up and give the fist bump. And we were all screaming for medic, and no medics were coming to us, which was horrifying.
We had a fear that there was more shooters there because if this was happening right in our section, we were the section that everybody sees on TV that everybody's still sitting there and looking. Our section was down, other than people helping,
Just
Corey and the woman
yeah,
shot.
we had two people down in our section, so everybody was down.
Yeah. I heard bullets, and the first thing I was looking at Trump, and I'm like, okay, he's still there, and then he moved quick, but it was assassination, absolutely assassination. We both said in the car on the way home, silently to ourselves, we both had it in the back of our minds going in there today. I was looking at trees. I was just looking around, you shove it away. He had his own thoughts about it.
First three shots, I thought assassination, but they get in the video. There's about five or 6 seconds before the next four shots, which I then thought it was a mass shooting because because Trump was already down at that point. So like, what are they shooting at?
So did I. So really, our thoughts went from assassination to mass, because then now you're fearing for yourself. The woman in the blue T-shirt leaning over, if you look up in that picture, the guy in that pink plaid shirt, that's where they are. That's where people were starting to reach out to help them.
Encouraging, really. I mean, my mom says she'll never go to a Trump rally. I want to go to the closest one I can next, just to prove to this guy that he can't get away with this and he's not going to scare us off.
I said I'd go if it was indoors.
I mean, that was one of the most encouraging things I think I've ever seen in my life.
And then you got anger afterwards because now you're just mad. Who did this? Why? What is the reason? Why? It just has to stop.
America, the whole purpose of America is about a peaceful pass of power between Democrats and Republicans. Every 4 years we have to vote, and if we want to change, we get that change peacefully. And this is not the way to go about it.
I hope so. I'm still personally, I'm still afraid of civil war, but I'm hoping that maybe this will bring out the good. Something good comes out of everything bad. I'm a firm believer of it, and I hope that's the answer. I hope that's the answer.